Hello my friends, welcome to Pro Strings. I'm Henriette and this lesson is all about the C major arpeggio as it's set for grade 2. So in this video we will be learning the C major arpeggio, and by the end of it I think you will be able to play the C major arpeggio off by heart with proper expression, as you will be required to play it in the exam. So let's go ahead and let's get straight in. This is very much a play along video, so have your violin and your bow ready, and you might also have your book initially up on your music stand. Have a look at how this C major arpeggio is printed. We're going to change it slightly in that just before the final note we're going to put a repeat in. So we're going to play C, E, G, C, G, E, and then we're repeating that bit. And we're going to first play it with accompaniment, and while we play it with the accompaniment we're doing two things. We're going to learn it off by heart, and we're also going to check our intonation, our tuning, so that we learn to play it perfectly in tune. So are you ready with your violin and your bow? Off we go. 1, 2, 3. Now let's think back for a moment to when you were just playing that. Were all your notes in tune? If you're not sure, shall we just play it again? And I want you to really listen and be very critical of yourself. Did you really play every single note in tune? Here we go again. 2, 3. So let's think again now, shall we? Was that a lot better than the previous time? In answer to that question you may say, yes, that was actually quite good. Fine, really, really positive. You might say, oh, actually my third finger wasn't quite in tune. And the next question that I'm going to ask you then is, was your third finger a little bit too flat? Or maybe was it a little bit too sharp? And we want to find out exactly what happened. It's not enough to just say, oh, that note wasn't in tune, because then it's much harder to fix it, you see. So let's see if we can work out whether your note was too sharp or too flat. Whether that was the third finger or the first finger, I don't know, of course, but you can perhaps judge that for yourself. In a moment, we're going to play this same thing one more time with the accompaniment. And that time I want you to make sure that it's all perfectly in tune. So let's give it your best shot, shall we? 2, 3. Wow, you're making great progress with this arpeggio now. So I'm hoping that by now we've played it 3 times in a row, you will start to remember your notes. And before we play it one final time, I would like you to think about what the letter names of your notes are. So the C major arpeggio starts on a C at your first note, and it also finishes on a C at the top. But then in between you get C, E, G, C. Can you say those letters with me? C, E, G, C. I want to know these 3 letters, because remembering 3 letters is a far more reliable method than thinking I'm playing finger 3, finger 1, finger 3, finger 2, you see. So learn the letter names rather than the fingers. It's much more reliable. C, E, G, C. Now on our way down, I tend not to say the letter names because that then becomes C, G, E, C, and that I find very confusing. So just say your letters on your way up and then play the same way down as you come along. Now let's play it without accompaniment, and let's see if you can come away from your book now, seeing if you can play this off by heart. Are we ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome, and that I think is a major step in the right direction. So now you can play this perfectly in tune and off by heart, and once you have achieved these 2 targets, you are allowed to carry on. Mind you, if you still are unsure about playing it in tune, please do not follow the video further than this point. Go back over it a few more times until you think, yes, now I'm happy to play every single note in tune. When you played in tune already and you're not quite knowing it off by heart, then please also stop here, wind the video back and play it a couple more times until you do know it off by heart. And this was the first step in this 4-step plan. If you followed the first video in this series, you will have noticed we're doing it in 4 steps. This was our first step. Our next step is to play it without stopping. And we're playing it only once over because that is the way it's set in the exam. And then we're going to see if we can play it without a single mistake. So let's try that, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Wonderful, wonderful. You see, when we play it for practice, we add the repeat. When we play it towards an exam-ready standard, we're playing it just once. Shall we do that again? 1, 2, 3. And you will have noticed that the final note is a crotchet, so you will say 1, 2, 3. And that gives a bit of extra polish to your playing if you play the last note exactly as it is prescribed. So well done. Can you still remember your letter names? C, E, G, C. That is wonderful. Now, this time we're moving on to step 3 and we're going to play it a little bit faster with expression. So now I want you to make the top note the loudest note of your arpeggio. So you start at mezzo forte, play towards forte on the top note. Now as you do that, I want you to make as full a sound as you possibly can. So I want you to use the whole bow, and I also want you to aim to play your bows very, very smoothly. So no accents at all. Every single note is part of that line of crescendo to the top note. After 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Shall we do that again? 2, 3. Wonderful, well done. So you're very nearly there, it's very nearly ready, and you're playing it very nearly in the way you will play this in your exam. This is about the right speed, you give it some nice shape, and you know this off by heart. In the exam you will need to combine this arpeggio with other scales and arpeggios that you've learned for the grade. So in this final and 4th step we're going to combine this arpeggio with the C major scale that we already know. And I want you to first play the C major scale slurred, followed immediately by the C major arpeggio. So we're going to do that together. I'll count us in for 2. 1, 2. And now the arpeggio, and if you manage to do that, I congratulate you on the progress that you've just made. That's absolutely awesome. So what I'd like you to do is frequently come back, play this video again tomorrow just to see if you still remember everything, and you'll find that you gain an experience, and that's what you want to do. Now at the same time, you want to follow this course further along so that you pick up a new scale and a new arpeggio every time you watch a video. So super well done. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.